I feel like one of the most common questions that is asked about the photography world is if you need to go to college for photography. I definitely have some experience going to school and teaching myself. So today we're gonna chat about my experience and hopefully it will give you a little bit of clarity on what is best to do for you. So when I went to college for advertising, and during that time I had one additional art credit that I could take, and I made a decision to take a photography class. It seemed fun, it seemed like an easy A, and yeah. I ended up falling head over heels in love with photography. It was a complete accident, so I ended up making the decision to graduate early with my advertising degree, which ended up just being an associate's degree in humanities. And at that particular time in my life, I was already in my early 20s, so it wasn't feasible for me to continue on going to full-time school. So I made a decision to get a full-time job, and I went to school for photography at night at a local community college. It ended up working out really well, and I was able to balance that lifestyle with working full-time, going to school 2 to 3 nights a week, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was absolutely helpful learning about the very basics of photography, actually starting in a darkroom class, which has been a passion of mine really since that point. But learning about studio lighting, learning about how to do product photography in a studio, working with people, doing location portraits, working studio portraits, understanding Photoshop, and just lots of technology that I may not have taught myself. So I definitely consider it to have been a really good thing. There was a period of time where I really wasn't sure if photography was for me though. I really enjoyed the camaraderie with other students and having, you know, just a comparison of my work based off of theirs and critiquing by professors. It was just a really great environment to kind of figure out where I stood. But there was a point where I wasn't sure if photography was going to work out for me and if I really wasn't sure if I was good. At the particular college that I went to, there was something called Photographer of the Year. And basically it was something for the graduating class. So it was a 2-year university, so generally it was like the second-year students would do this. It was a project of 15 images minimum. You had to build a story with the 15 images and write a paper and then present that in front of a panel of other professors or just photographer professionals that were local to the school or potentially alumni. So I made a decision in my second year, even though I was only literally probably like 15 credits into my degree since I was going part-time, I made the decision that I was going to participate in Photographer of the Year. And it was just so challenging and it was difficult. There was some things that came up in my personal life that really slowed down that process. But basically I was working on this series for about 6 months and ended up presenting it, and then they have a banquet at the end of the year where they announce the winner, and I won. I was so excited when I went up and accepted my award. I had to give a little speech, and of course I was crying, and it was really exciting for me. And I think one of the reasons why it was so exciting is because I kind of had secretly told myself that if I won, then I would pursue photography. So what's the moral of this story? Do I find that college is beneficial? Do I find that you should educate yourself at home? I'm gonna give you the same answer that you're probably expecting that I'm gonna give, and that is really to do what you think is best for you. Yes, I know I'm probably gonna get some thumbs down for that one, but it's really true. For me, based off of the time of my life and the conditions that were leading up to me finding photography, it was impossible for me to not have a full-time job in my life. So I made the decision to go to night school. I made that decision because my personality generally is that I will put off some of my passions and my interests if something comes up or if somebody needs something for me. I don't necessarily build into my schedule time to work on passion projects or time to learn new skills. So it was absolutely beneficial for me to say, I'm going to school Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever the class days were. It was, that is my photography night and I'm going to school. Not everybody is like me. There are many people in this world that can motivate themselves to do anything that they want, to keep on task and to explore their new interests. If that is you and you don't necessarily need to have a structure of a school around you, then feel free to teach yourself. But believe me, even after I finished school. I am continually learning, and I think that is an important thing to touch on. Even if you do go to college, you will continue to need to educate yourself, to teach yourself these photography skills, because technology is constantly changing, style is constantly changing, cameras are constantly changing. You always have to stay educated on what is new, what is relevant and current in the field, and it's really beneficial for you to constantly grow as a business owner, as a photographer, and as a human being. I will say that one of the best things about going to school and attending workshops and getting together with other photographers in person is that you can really figure out where you stand in the field and seeing each other's work, having critiques, getting expert opinion on what your work is doing or the messages that it's telling. So even if you do decide to teach yourself at home, try to make an effort to get out into the community. Don't just keep your nose in a book. Don't just go out and shoot solo, because you're never really going to know how other people view your work if you don't ask them. So put yourself in environments where you can get your work critiqued, or find some sort of a mentor, either at a college, through a workshop, through a course, anything like that. So I really hope that my experience can help out some of you guys, and just be confident and figure out how you work as a student and how you feel about photography, and whether your schedule can allow you to learn on your own, or if you need to have the structure of a class setting. Obviously, you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go to an art school. There we could talk about that. I'm not necessarily sure if going to an art school is extremely more beneficial to learn the art. However, there are always great networking opportunities and great internships that you can usually get from an art institution that you can't always get from a school like I went to, which is just a community college. I felt like my school worked really great for me with my lifestyle. I always do put a word of caution to people though, just letting them know that going into extreme debt for any industry, but one especially like photography, is not always the best way to go about it. I trust that each and every one of you knows yourself, knows your financial situation, and knows how strong of a passion that you have. So I'd love to hear from some of you what education route you've chosen for yourself, whether that was college or some sort of a trade school or an art school, workshops, webinars. Feel free to leave those comments down below and let's have a conversation about it. If you have not already hopped on over to our Facebook group, feel free to do so. It's called All Things Wedding Photography, and I have that linked down below for you. Like this video if you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.